All right, everyone, we start off talking today about Texas 23 and Brandonherrera. Literally, let's go Brandon, as opposed to the pejorative about fuck Joe Biden, of course. He lost in Texas 23. He was in the runoff against Tony Gonzalez, and it was very, very close. And here's the victory. The neocon establishment, which clearly would favor Gonzalez over the AK guy, quite literally on YouTube, would want him to win. He was pumped full of campaign finance steroids, 10-1 over Herrera, and he won by less than a point. So Brandonherrera did lose, and ultimately it was by a few hundred votes. And if I were him, I would say, have an informal recount or something, because that's enough wiggle room where you could feasibly be over the mark. Maybe there was some ballot printers going burr there or something like that. We've seen that before. But he has conceded, and that's fine. But you came very, very close. This is the closest that the sort of digital generation has come to gaining any real representation in Congress. We have a scattering of people that are core MAGA within Congress that are on the younger side. Clearly they're capable of making their own tweets, like Representative Luna or Boebert or maybe Matt Gaetz. They're the outlier. They are the exception to the rule. Most people in Congress are 65 plus. No offense to any of my older viewers, because some of you are very tech literate. Hell, most of you can probably use a smartphone better than I can. But if we're going to tackle issues like Section 230, gun rights in the post-Bruin sense, etc., we're going to need a new generation of leadership to be in Congress. We have no other choice. One of Trump's main platforms is to reform Section 230 and pass an Internet Bill of Rights. If you want that sort of thing to be a thing, you're going to have young people, especially those that are tied with digital mediums. I mean, Brandonherrera is literally known as the AK guy. That's his YouTube channel. He's the AK guy. He's unabashedly pro-gun, which I appreciate very much. Apparently made a 50 caliber AK of some sort, and I'm very confused about where the methodology in his mind came from that he decided to build it, but I appreciate it anyway. I don't know. I like revolvers more than rifles myself. I'm a revolver man. Maybe I should be the revolver guy or something. It's probably, the username's definitely taken by now. But he came within less than a point, a few hundred votes in Texas 23. This is the district that encompasses, by the way, San Antonio. He came very, very close to unseating the neocon there. Now, I wouldn't say Tony Gonzalez is core neocon, like core rhino. It's establishment. It's more like a Ted Cruz sort of thing, where you're kind of in the establishment, but you're 1 foot out, if that makes any sense, politically speaking. There are people that sort of straddle that line. It's like missing link Republicans or something like that. We have found the transitional fossil proving that evolution exists. We have found the people that are technically neocons, but they play the MAGA game, or they're technically populist, but they try to play nice with the neocons in order to win elections. And that's sort of where it seems that Tony Gonzalez is coming from. Well, it would have been good to have another unabashedly pro-gun, and in this case a literal YouTuber, in Congress. He has not won. He did concede. I wish him well on his future political excursions, because I can't imagine this is a one-off. Maybe it is. Maybe he says, well, it didn't work out. That's okay. I'm going back to making, doing gun stuff. I would advise him to run again. If Tony Gonzalez manages to fuck up massively, you can always do the I told you so thing, and you already have that ingrained support. Strike while the iron is hot. Congressional terms for people in the U.S. House are only 2 years long. That is a blink in the eye of political history. Mount your campaign today. Begin doing the media whirlwind tour sort of thing. Not on legacy media, of course, but on podcasts and things like that. Go on Timcast. I'm sure that he would love to have Brandonherrera on there. Go on The Quartering. Hell, come on my show. Just pitching myself. Go and speak to other creators who might be able to help you. They have connections of various kinds. Get more money, get more political connections, get people to talk about you, and you're probably assured victory the next time around. Because clearly Brandonherrera would be preferable to Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez doesn't have irredeemable qualities, but he's not as good as Brandon Herrera in any way, shape, or form. I would have voted Herrera if I was in Texas 23. I'm a little ways away. Sorry that I was born in the state of New Hampshire. He almost unseated a person that outraised him 10 to 1. This also shows something else. This is a white pill moment. Money and politics have been inextricably linked for a very long time. The idea is that if you get more money, you probably win. Unless there's something terrible about you, the person who outraises, they tend to have a huge advantage. You have more money, therefore more ads and things like that. What this is showing is that it's more about ideology and principle. It's become more about that, especially in the digital era. I think that the mainline politicians are shocked by this and alarmed at this because they're used to simply going to their $3,000 a plate events, raising money, making small talk with the genteel people, with the bourgeois, and getting a lot of money from doing that. And then they spend it on campaign ads on TV or radio, and they don't even need to do much else. They make some appearances, and they have mainly a crowd of people that like them, because who else is going to show up other than the occasional heckler? And so it looks good, and that functioned. During the 90s and 2000s, this was the way of politics. We're beginning to transition past that as a nation. It's no longer about the fundraising and the in-person meeting so much as it is the development of digital means. And you can get attention for free. You simply have to be out there. You get more attention if your views are considered maverick than if your views are orthodox. Imagine Chuck Schumer's podcast. How many people are going to tune in? They're not going to tune in at all. They're just going to watch C-SPAN. They'll see the same thing. Meanwhile, if you have the Brandon Herrera and Lauren Boebert hour or something like that, people will actually tune in because they're like, oh, some zany, even if they don't like them, they'll be like, at least some zany things will be said. It'll be entertaining. It'll be fun. That's the whole point. Trump has realized this. He's fundamentally transformed politics to the point where someone who is mainly known as a YouTuber on that token and raising a relatively small amount of money for a congressional run. I hate to tell you this, but $1 million sounds like a lot to you and me. To some, well, most of you. Some of you might be multimillionaires. I have no clue. But to most people, it's a lot of money. In a political campaign, that's a drop in the fucking bucket. For even a minor district, and Texas 23 isn't exactly minor. Again, you're talking about San Antonio. By the way, turnout very low. If it had been higher, I believe that Brandon Herrera would have won, which would be for the best. And then he would end up in Congress in that district. It wouldn't even be close. So, I mean, I'm sorry that he didn't win, but you've got infinite opportunities, my man. And all you got to do is strike while the iron is hot, get a media whirlwind sort of thing going, keep raising money, look forward to 2026 because you can probably nail it. That's about all. Peace out.